Welcome to week 2 of Thorgiween, which means that you're all probably starting to get sick of this shirt. Too bad, it's gonna be here all month long. I'm Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is our first theme week for this year's Thorgiween. And the theme for all the movies that we're reviewing this week is Remake, for a reason why you will see in a couple days. Unless I completely screw that video up, in which case, Thorgiween is already doomed. But let's not worry about that. Let's talk about some remakes. And the first one that we're going to do is Fright Night, because this is a movie that we had always kind of just missed out on, but for a very odd reason, because we were dating at the time when this remake came out, and I mentioned, yeah, this is getting some good reviews, and I might want to actually go and check this thing out. And then you said, did you ever see the original Fright Night? I went, no, I never saw it. And then you were just like, you never saw the original? Like, you were offended by that. So you made me watch the original Fright Night, and we never ended up seeing the remake of Fright Night?
It was just that good. No, I'm kidding, but it is.
No, the original Fright Night.
Yeah, it was good, but like that was a joke. But like that's not the reason why we never saw the remake.
No, we just got bored. We just got lazy and just like, I don't know, whatever. The number one excuse for why I never complete a thing, we just got lazy. Just got lazy and never did the thing. So, we did finally watch it, and I am pleased to say, if you saw the original Fright Night, you saw this Fright Night. And that makes this a very interesting remake.
Yeah.
Because so many remakes are, okay, we're going to try and completely reboot this with a fresh new idea. No. There's no fresh ideas on this.
So honestly,
it's the original Fright Night.
It's the original Fright Night, but like updated, like because
it's just in a new decade.
In a new decade, like because the first Fright Night was in the '80s, or and then this one is like modern day and everything. 2011. So
yes. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
The most remakes, they have like some kind of we're gonna do this, but now it's this thing. We're gonna do this, but we're gonna change this character around. Everything in here is 100% just what it was in the old Fright Night. The only two changes that really get made is that now the vampire expert who they go to.
What was it, like Vincent? No, or like it's obviously a parody of Vincent Price.
Yes.
But it's something like that, or.
But yeah, in the original, he was meant to be one of those like Elvira, Crypt Keepers, one of those guys who they host horror movie shows where we're gonna show you a spooky movie, kids, and I'm coming out here in a cave, which that used to be a thing.
Yes.
It's not a thing anymore. So now they turned him into a Chris Angel parody.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. Because when you stop and think, it's like, okay, who would be like the modern day supernatural guys? I guess it'd either be that, or it would be one of those ghost chasers.
Yeah.
Which would kind of be interesting to see the ghost chasers go, oh, we've kind of been bullshitting this whole time. None of this stuff is real. But it's kind of interesting the direction that they went with it having to be Chris Angel, because then you stop and think, okay, who actually would be like that same level of eccentric that an old horror movie marathon host would be. And I guess this is as close as you could come in the modern day.
Mm-hmm.
The only other change that they really made to this was that it does play into the housing crisis a little bit, which by 2011, it's not like that was going away, but it was like, okay.
Not as bad.
Not as bad as it was in 2008, 2009, 2010, but it was kind of starting to get towards the tail end of that. But that's really the only thing that feels like it's set in the modern era. It's that, what's the main character's name? Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's living in this little condominium area in Vegas.
Yes.
And his mom is trying to get people to move into the neighborhood, but no one really wants to buy houses right now. So there's kind of just a bunch of nothing around. So when this new neighbor, Jerry, ends up moving in, everybody's like, oh my God, finally someone new is moving to the area. All right, he's got to bring new people in here. And that does actually play into Jerry's reasoning for wanting to move into this neighborhood, is that it eventually gets revealed that he is trying to bring his clan of vampires back. So, hey man, nobody around. I can kind of do what I want. There aren't a lot of people to raise questions here. This is kind of the optimal spot for it. So, that's not really one of those things where you look at and you go, okay, because of the housing crisis, that was the perfect time to bring back Fright Night. No, you'd be crazy to go, housing crisis, Fright Night. Yes, matching up perfectly. No, that doesn't match up at all. But they did have to think of something in the modern era.
That being said, I thought it was very clever that they used the for sale sign as the wooden stake.
I love that one moment. That was dope. That's the other thing that I got to point out. Okay, so far we've basically been saying there was no reason for this to exist, but I do want to point something out. This is a good film.
Yes.
This actually, like, I like the original one better. Mm-hmm. But it's not like that. It's more like, that. It's like if I had to watch this one instead of the other one, I'll take this. This one's still a pretty darn good movie. It's got a great cast to it. Everybody in here is like, if not an A-class actor, there's somebody who became a big name later on. Like, I don't think Anton Yelchin was a big name when he got this role, but he became a big name eventually. Mm-hmm. Christopher Mintz-Plasse in here as his nerdy friend. Yeah, perfect. Perfect casting on that one. Imogen Pooch, she eventually ended up becoming a much bigger name. Oh God, who plays the mom? Toni Collette. Which, this is such a small role for Toni Collette to have. But I don't know if like it was just later on her career ended up exploding. Like maybe I'm mixing up my timelines on this, but when I think of Toni Collette, I think of like a huge name. So seeing her just being the mom to Charlie in a Fright Night reboot is like, this is so beneath you, but everybody else in here is pretty good, so all right. And she showed up to work. She is a very good actress.
Plus, I think, like, the character's role was bigger in this one than the original.
Yes, it definitely was. There isn't a whole lot that I can look at in this one and go, okay, they did that differently, but that's one in which I definitely remember, yeah, the mom definitely had a bigger role in this one. But the one character who I can absolutely look at and go, that's very different. Aside from Vincent, whatever his name was.
Who was played by David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is something that I love about David Tennant. No matter what role David Tennant gets, he goes all in.
He does.
And David Tennant never strikes me as that guy who's like, okay, I guess I'll do this role. He always seems like he is ecstatic for whatever role he got. Like, you want me to be Uncle Scrooge in the new DuckTales cartoon? I'll be the biggest Uncle Scrooge of all. He will show up and work on that thing. And yeah, they told him, you need to be Chris Angel in this thing. He went in there with the stretchy leather pants and he just put on the makeup. He went all in on this. But even him, even though they changed what type of character he is, the person he is still the same. He is still that guy who appears like he's an expert on vampires, but he knows it's all bull crap. But in the back of his mind, it's like, it might not be bullcrap. But then when push comes to shove, he's an absolute coward. And then he turns around there at the end and, no, we gotta go in there. We gotta help you save the day. Like, it's a great moment in there.
In this version, wasn't it Jerry that killed his parents or something?
Yes, that was one thing. That was a big change. Because I remember in the old one, they did like no reason.
Yeah, they didn't really have any connection.
Yeah, there was no connection. He was absolutely 100% like, yeah, no, vampires are absolute BS. Like, none of this is true.
Yeah, it's like,
but in this one, he goes, no, this is true. Yet I still collect all this stuff. But no, it's not true. It's not. You're pulling my leg on this one, and then eventually it comes back around that, no, he did actually have a reason to believe this, and he was just kind of telling Charlie, no, it's all BS, because he kind of got to that point in his life in which he was like, I don't even know if what I saw was real or not when I was a kid. And he believes it, but only to a certain extent. And he's like,
also, like, I think it's just like his fear. Of like,
he doesn't want it to be real.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
He wants it to be pretend, which is why he's pretending to be a vampire slayer in the first place.
Yes. So, I mean, there's a lot of psychological stuff that you can read out here. But the one who seems the most different to me is Jerry. Because I remember, and it's been a while, so I could be remembering this wrong, but from what I remember, Jerry in the old one, he was suave. He was that charming 80s guy who moved in next door. Colin Farrell's character can best be summed up as thirsty. That is the best way to describe Colin Farrell's interpretation of Jerry the Vampire. Because, like, the second that they meet him, he is just looking Toni Collette up and down. He's like, yeah, how you doing, girl? Yeah. And every line out of his mouth just sounds like it's code for, so you want to do it? Like, you want to, like, go to my place? Like, every line of dialogue out of his mouth just feels like it's him trying to hit on someone. But not even in a suave way, but more in a, like, so, like, you want to get this dirty grunge fuck on? Like, is that, like, that is his entire character in there. I didn't want to, like, get that vulgar with it, but that term just perfectly sums up his depiction of Jerry the Vampire. Always wearing like a wife beater shirt, always just like standing like this in a door frame, like, yo, check out my abs. Let me just stand in the perfect way so you can just see my ripped body here.
Yeah, like he's still handsome, but like just...
Oh, he's a tasty treat. He is an attractive man. I'm not going to deny that. But he's not denying it either. He's just like, yeah, even if I didn't have the vampire powers, I'd still be luring people back to my home. I'd still... Listen, man, the vampire powers, I don't even use that stuff, man. Yeah, he is just... I almost want to call him a scumbag. But aside from when he's just being a vampire, he's really just being, like... super flirty is the nicest way I can put that. Because, yeah, like, every line, every, like, gesture, every eye move that he makes, it all just appears like he is on the hunt. But that also totally works for him being a vampire.
Yes.
That works 100%. Like, me saying he seems thirsty, I'm not just talking, like, sexually. I'm talking also, like, vampire.
Yeah, for blood.
It just seems like, no, man, he is looking for some prey. He is looking for someone to turn into a vampire.
Or at least drink, like...
Yeah. Because there's some people who just disappear in this movie.
Yeah.
They're just his snacks.
Yeah. Like, he'll literally, like, he literally kidnapped, like, a girl, like, a high schooler that, like, went to a Charlie school and, like, shoved her in the basement so he can have her...
Just to be a snack later on.
Exactly.
Yeah, just go to whenever he's hungry. But yeah, man, he is just, like, exuding with confidence in here. And I do like the original Jerry better. Because that guy you at least look at, and if somebody said, that guy's a vampire, you'd look at them like, no, you're crazy. This one, they go, that guy's a vampire. You might look at him and go, I don't believe in vampires. But he is probably a sexual predator. Like, he should probably be on some kind of a list. Mm-hmm. Which, let's go ahead and talk about him actually being a vampire. One thing that I loved about the original Fright Night is something that they carried in this one, which is that they absolutely did their homework on what are vampires. I remember in the original one, they had them not just transform into bats, but like also wolves, and I think there was even a moment where they turned into fog, and they like went the whole vampire gamut in there. Here, they don't go as far, but they definitely pay attention to vampire rules in here, and they actually get pretty clever with it. There's a moment in there in which Christopher Mintz-Plasse, he is running away from Jerry, and he runs into this house, and he goes, aha, you can't get inside unless you're invited. Then Jerry just strolls on inside and just goes, it's abandoned, you idiot. There's no one to invite me in. I like that. That was actually smart. Yes, they actually like did some like creative stuff with the whole vampire rules. And there's a moment later on, which this is the point in which we start getting into like full spoilers. But I mean, it's if you see, as we said, if you've seen the original Fright Night, sorry, I'm so mush-mouthed by the way, but if you've seen the original Fright Night, you've seen this film. You know the pattern, you know the beats. But there comes this moment in which he is trying to get into Charlie's house. And it's a very good scene with Charlie telling his mom, you gotta believe me. You gotta just believe me on this one. He's gonna say some things about me, but trust me, I didn't do that.
So don't invite him in.
Yes, which, man, that's a tense scene. That is tense because you know that his mom has no reason to not invite him in other than her son who is acting very weird, like putting garlic up everywhere. That moment where she had to choose, do I trust my son who is acting insane or the perfectly sensible hot neighbor? And I like she chose her son in that scene. It was great. I feel like there's a lot of movies out there where they would not have done that. I feel like there's a lot of scenes out there, a lot of movies out there, which honestly kind of rightfully so, because there's a lot of horror films out there that star teenagers. They try to make it seem like the entire world, even your family, is against you. It's just you against everyone else. And I can understand the appeal of that, especially when you're aiming your film at a teenage audience. But I think that when you have a scene like that, where any sensible person would look at Charlie and go, you're acting nuts right now, I think that having a scene like that where the mom chooses to trust Charlie, it speaks volumes for their relationship. So I absolutely love little stuff like that. But he had to find a way in now. So he just went out into the backyard, just started digging a hole, pulled out the gas line, ripped it open, lit a match, blew up the entire house, and then just walked in and said, can't invite me in if there's no house. Which, by the way, he is trying his hardest to hide that Irish accent, but he's hiding it by going full American sleazebag. So
And
it
it works for
It works. Yeah, man. I mean, that adds to why I said that this guy just seems like such a piece of crap. Because he has to do the "I'm a piece of crap" voice in order to get away with it.
Yeah, it's like, also I noticed like Charlie's character was different from like the original, I think. Like,
It's been a while, but he definitely seemed a little bit more like, yeah, man, I'm kind of moving on.
yeah, exactly. Like his friend was the one who was like obsessed with like hunting vampires and everything, and it's like,
Yeah, in the original, wasn't it Charlie who was the one who first started suspecting that he was a vampire?
I think so. Like
It has been a
been a
while.
while.
But yeah, I also remember his girlfriend in the original was also, I'm not gonna say like an outsider like him, but she was a very like average like girl next door type of character. Part of the plot of this one is that his girlfriend is the hot girl, and you keep expecting that that's gonna turn into like a thing where it's like, okay, why is the hot girl going out with this like random weenie? And then it's just revealed I kind of have a thing for random weenies. Like, that's just her kink. She's just into guys who are way below her league. That was the reveal for her character. All right. Yeah, her character was better in the original. I will say that one.
Yeah, but like the fact that his friend got caught by Jerry, that's what motivated him to like go back.
Which again, we're trying to remember the last one from, 8 freaking years ago. But I want to say that in the original, his friend lasted way longer throughout the movie. It almost feels like Christopher Mintz-Plasse was like, yeah, I gotta go and record for How to Train Your Dragon. I got some other stuff to do, man. Which is probably a good idea, because I don't know what everyone's age was at this time. But Anton Yelchin, okay, I can totally buy you as high schooler. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, I think, was like 28 at the time that he recorded this thing. He was probably getting a little too old to be a high school guy, even though he has that eternal high school look to him. So that was probably a good idea to get him out of the movie quick.
But I like how his character came back around. Like, basically, like, Jerry was like, you're all alone, your friends abandon you. And you think, like, he's gonna kill him, but he actually turns him into a vampire.
Which is good when it comes back around to explain Jerry's motivation, that he's not really just here to feast. He's here to bring his clan back. He's here to bring back these vampires because, as David Tennant was explaining, yeah, they're pretty much all wiped out. They're almost all gone. So they had to get rid of this guy. They had to get rid of this guy to clean out all the vampires, but he had to also be the one to bring everyone back. He had to create a brand new clan. There we go. I know I would eventually get to it.
Yeah, so and of course, he got the guy, Charlie's friend.
Take two.
I forget his name. I'm sorry, so I'm gonna call him Charlie's
Christopher
friend.
Mintz-Plasse.
Yeah, he comes back and he uses his vampire powers.
Ed. His name was fucking Ed. Oh my god,
Ed! Yes.
That was driving me nuts.
Okay, so Ed comes back and he uses his super vampire powers to get revenge on the bullies and everything. And he was gonna get revenge on Charlie too, but Charlie fought back and everything.
I actually really like that fight scene in which they are trying to stop. They were trying to stop these vampires while they're in David Tennant's study, where he's just got all these weapons to fight vampires. So they're just breaking glasses and bringing out whatever they can, trying to take it out. The moment in which they take out an axe and try and chop into Christopher Mintz-Plasse and to Ed there, or the best moment in there when Imogen Pooch, she pulls out the gun, loads up with bullets, fires, and then Jerry just goes, werewolves, because they're silver. I love that they don't have to say that it's silver. They know that the audience is going to know that, but he just pulls it out and goes, silver. No, sorry. That's the thing he didn't say. He pulls it out and goes, werewolves. Then she breaks another glass, pulls out a goblet of holy water, splashes in his face, vampires. I like that scene. That's the one really good scene that Imogen Pooch has in this. But yeah, there's some pretty decent stuff done here when it comes to special effects, especially when it comes to the vampire lore, especially with how tough vampires are.
Yeah.
But the one, really the one thing that I can point to this movie and say, this is really the standout scene that is different from the other film. There's the one thing I can point to and go no, if there's one reason to watch this film over the previous one, aside from just having a personal relation with any of these actors and liking any of these actors more than any of the people in the old film, it was that chase scene. The moment of the motorcycle being thrown into the back of that car, that was actually a great moment. That was a great, hey man, we're just here for a ride. We're not Fright Night is not really a scary film. It is a fun horror film.
Yes.
It is a fun monster film.
Yes.
And that whole chase sequence was that we're just here to have fun moment. And yeah, that was actually really fun.
Yeah.
It was also that moment that reminded me, oh, right, this was in 3D. This was during that 3D craze when everything had to be in 3D, even the stuff that really had no need to be in 3D. So there are a few brief moments in here where it's like, okay, that was just there for that. That was the one shot that justified this being 3D.
Although we've seen worse 3D movies.
We've seen 3D movies that had no reason for existing. No reason for being 3D. This one, it feels like as soon as they found out they were going to be 3D, they went, well, I guess we got to do something in here. So yeah, the car chase scene actually kind of works for that. But yeah, I really enjoy this. Still like the original one more, but I do think this is a unique remake because it does show, hey man, sometimes you can remake a movie and you don't have to do something different. You can just make it good.
Yeah.
And even if the old one was good, if you still make another good film, you know what? It's been 30 years. Sure.
It's not really a remake. It's more of like an update.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to say it. This is the HD re-release of Fright Night. That's what this is. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first episode of our remake week, so make sure that you come back every single day this week for brand new reviews. And I'm Aaron, this is Michelle.
Yes.
And this is Peach down here.
Yes.
This is the one episode Peach has not been in here for. Yeah, Peach.
Yay,
all right.
yay.
All right.
I can smell our views going up.
Yay! This is why you all stay tuned throughout the entire Post Geek Out reactions in case Pete shows up. But that's it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and happy Halloween. Oh my God, she high-fived me. Oh, she thought I was going in for a high five.
Aww.
You are a good girl.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.